I saw you. Um, we One thing I love about the live is that we can pivot when needed. That's one of the big things here is to be able to pivot to truly serve you where you need to be served. And I want you guys to remember that as we keep moving through this, you know, this is I think 7 years in the making now. Okay, we've been doing this for 7 years. And we've had some of the same people in for 7 years. How is that possible? Because this is like going to the gym. Okay, it's never fun. There's always more important things to do, right? But for longevity of business, of career, of happiness, of financials, of all that stuff, we come in here and we train weekly. Normally it's 3 times a week at 2 Eastern, Debbie, right? 2 Eastern, Debbie. There she goes. I always like to blow somebody some crap when they're just a minute or two. It's just good when it's not you, right, Cody? So this is where we come in weekly, 3 to 4 times a month. If it's four, it's because our run rest cycle, it happened to have 5 weeks in that month normally. And so it's 3 to 4 weeks a month. We know that you guys can't make it to everyone. It's not possible. Things happen. Marriage, death, business, personal, vacations, whatever. But we know this is a place in which you guys can come, which you guys can be put inside of a good community of people. Like you guys don't know who's all here. That's one of the things that eats me up is you guys don't know like the value of this group and what the people here, who they are, and what they can do for you and what you can do for them. And as we get that thing moving and humming, you'll start to see massive value with the people here. You'll see what me and Nate see, which is pretty cool. Until then, we'll just keep providing value and keep showing you the vision of what this is. It's 3 to 4 times a week. Normally, the schedule will be always posted a month before. The run rest cycles have been determined for 2024. We just dropped that. Who shake your hands at me? Who saw that in the community? Mike got it. Jack Tucker. Okay, so you guys, so it's there, right? Right, Rob? It's there. You found it. Yeah, he has no clue what we're talking about, but at least he's there. So better than being late, right, Rob? Just to let everybody know, I always call everybody out when they're late. So the schedule's there. What I would recommend is to go through and watch that calendar training with me. Okay. It's in there. We posted it live. So you can go back into the community and you can click on it. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is if you don't have a calendar, hit stop and don't go any further. Yeah. So just hit stop. And the reason why is education's one thing. You guys can come in here and you can get educated on some stuff. That's cool all by itself. But what's even better is when you start to live that education and when you start to see it and you start to understand it and you can understand where the education goes right and where it goes left and how it fits into your life. Like that's when things get cool. And so what I want you to do is to go buy a calendar. Okay, get a big one, get a 2 or 3 foot one. Okay, don't do a little one like a little piece of paper. If you have to, you can, but don't do it because the vision of your life is far greater than that. Get something big, right, Mike? Get it big and get it in front of you so you can see it. And if this is your second or third year training with us and you still don't have a calendar, this is the year to get the calendar. Okay, this is the year. So I want you to get your calendar and I want you to go through that training. I want you to plan an entire year out. Now, you'll think I'm crazy when I say that. And then as you start to live it, you'll start to become a little more free. You won't be as full of anxiety of what maybe you were 12 months ago because now you can know what's coming. What do I have? What do I want? I'm heading up to Detroit on this date. I'm heading down to Nashville on this date. Maybe I can see my friends when I go there and put an extra half a day instead of going up the next month and now having 2 trips and my wife hates me because I left twice. You'll start to see these things. You'll start to get this flow. And the big thing is if you really want to get the most out of this, it's just to find 1 or 2 things every week. Just 1 to 2 things every week. Don't look for, I'm going through a crap ton today with you. It will be overwhelming if you try to take it all in. Don't. Just find 1 or 2 things to work on. And each week, over the course of a month after month after month after month, each week will go by. And in 6 to 12 months, you'll look back and you'll say, holy shit, look how far I've come. That's what it is. But the stuff we work on is not easy. The things I'm going to work on today, half of you have neglected. Okay. Half of you neglected it. And the reason you've neglected what we're going to work on is because it's not pretty. Okay. But I can tell you, each one of you. Oh, Angela, you want to turn on your camera for us? I'd love for you to do that. There she is. Hey. And just let everybody know, we don't care if you're in the car or not. It doesn't mean you look, but we want to see you, Ryan. Thank you. And Jamal and Amanda and Nellie and Belinda and Maddie and Jessica. We'd love to see you guys. Come on in, hang out with us. Let us see you. We don't care what you're doing or where you're at, as long as you're not naked. There's a couple smiles. Okay. So, Angela, did you have a question? You raised your hand. I didn't know if you meant to.
Yes, I do have a question. I saw the video, the calendar planning video, and my question to you is that only going to be up for 7 days as well? Or, because I didn't get my calendar. I just saw it yesterday. I got to go and get my calendar, and I don't want the video to be gone.
Perfect. Great question. We posted it in there so it would stay in there for you. So, a great question. And as you guys saw, where the meetups are, after we get done with today, Nate will put this meeting, this will go into the Zoom link, this file here for all of us. Will go into the Zoom link and it will stay there for a week so you can go back and click on it. Okay, there's a reason why we leave it there for a week. Mike, why do we leave it there for a week? Yeah. Why do we leave it there for a week, Mike?
Because there's a lot to process. You got to go back and make sure you thoroughly get what you're teaching, so we can implement as much as we can. You can't learn it all in one swoop.
Yeah. So twofold. One, for you to go back to. Okay. And two, if Mike happens to miss because he's in an airplane right now and he can't be here because he decided to fly Spirit and get the cheap flights. Okay. And they don't have internet. Okay. That's what you fly in Detroit a lot of times. So at least I do, Mike. And maybe Mike just can't be here. But what we want to do is to make sure that he gets this content before the following week. Because when next week hits, there's a whole nother load of content coming. And too much content does nobody good. And so we're really working on how do we get your habits in place. If I can change your habits, I can change everything. But your habits are where it all needs to start. One of the habits is understand what's important and what's urgent. So we have 85 people in this community and we have about 40-ish show up we get about half show up every week. Okay. And this week will be you guys and next week will be the other half. Why? Because urgency sets in place. Okay. Urgency is, hey, I got to run and go do this. Where really you don't have to, you choose to. It's just a choice. And what I want to do is I want to help you make that choice of what's urgent and what's important and why do we make these decisions. And how does that fit into your life and where it's going? Because when I talk to a lot of you guys tell me, hey, I want this. But then when I look at your actions, there's something different. And I can see the disconnect. You can't see them. But when you tell me, I can see them. Mike, you tell me you want this financial future for your life. And then when I work on your finances, you crap all over all the work. You don't take it seriously. So there's a disconnect. Or Mike, hey, when we work on our financials, you don't show up. But you tell me you want this, but when we work on it, you don't show up. And those are the pieces that when we train weekly, we can start to find. And then I can call you out on it. Because if you're late here, do you think you're late to a listing appointment? Oh, you bet your butt. Because your listing appointment ain't saying, hey, Tracy, you're 2 minutes late today, honey. She wasn't, by the way. But, yeah, I watch you. But they're not going to say that. What they're going to say is, I don't know if I can trust this person. And they're not going to tell you, but that's what they're going to say. And then you don't get the listing. There's 10 grand. And then you don't get the 4 referrals from that listing. There's 40 grand. And then you don't get the 4 referrals from those 4 people. There's another 40 grand. And at the end of the year, your bank account's empty and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to grow my business? And the answer is, you show up on time. You come prepared. Period. So why do I call you guys out? Because I care. This is that simple. I care. I try to help point out where you guys are a little weak to help get you stronger. Now, some people, when I do it, pisses them off. My first interactions with Mike, the reason I respect this man is when I first was interacting with him, I stepped right on his foot and pretty much said, hey, I'm going to step on your foot because you said there's a bee on your foot. So I'm going to step on it. If you don't like it, you can go away out of my life. I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm doing this for you. And the guy's like, I respect you. And now he's here. Okay? That's how this works. So let's keep getting better every single week. Not for me, not for anyone else, but for yourself. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. For those of you in a car, I do not recommend this. For everybody else, I want you to get up for about 20 seconds. I just want you to jump around, get your body going, get your energy moving, because what's going to happen here is we're going to get into some really boring work that you don't like. Okay, that's this reality. So let's 20 seconds, just get your body up. Yep, everybody in the Abner's group, that's all of you guys. 20 seconds, get your body moving.
We need more movement out of you guys.
Okay. And when I say 20 seconds, I mean 20 seconds. Let's get moving and then let's get to the work, you know? Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. I made it quick. I love seeing those smiles. Thank you. We're going to make a note here in 20 more minutes. We're going to do that again because this isn't fun work. This is boring work, and I'm going to lose you, but it's necessary for each and every one of you to get to where you're trying to get to, period. Okay, Nina, take some good notes. I see the pen. Here we go, girl. Let's get this thing moving. So what we're going to work through today with you, and this is going to be a 2-part series, is we're going to work through our treasure map. Some of you have seen this before, but I know where you sit financially because you're not doing it. So we're going to get back to the work. So here's what this looks like. I'm going to work through a list of about 12 things, which are the foundational pieces of financial success. Okay, Riami, you want to get to, remember I told you, if I put $1 million in your bank account, would you be closer? And you said, yeah, I'd be closer. Here's your answer. It's right here. It's the stuff that we don't want to do. Okay, so the first question I want you to ask yourself, okay, is how much money do you want to make out of this training today? No bullshit. How much money do you want to make out of this training today? I'm going to give you information. How much money do you want to translate this information to? Write down a number. Okay, bigger than 2, Mike. Write your number down. They say what you look for, you'll find. Okay, if you look for it, you'll find it. I always tell my kids, look on the ground for money. Just look for it, because dumb people drop it. No offense, we've all dropped money. They're like, Dad, how do you find money on the ground? Because I look for it. I'm not stupid. If I'm going to walk, I'm going to look for money too. So I wanted you guys to write down your number of what you're trying to get out of this, so that way you'll look for it, because it's here. I can promise you. It doesn't show up that way, but it's here. So the first thing we're going to do, part 1, we're working through the base foundational stuff. If you do some of this stuff already, great. Either do it better or move on to the next one. Remember, you're looking for 1 or 2 nuggets, not 10. You won't implement 10. You'll implement 1 or 2. So we're going to talk about financials. Okay, what we're doing with the financials, the very first thing, it's going to be hard work, I'm telling you. First thing is we need to understand 3 months of our personal expenses. Okay. 3 months of personal expenses. How much do you spend each month? We're at the end of November. Could anybody tell me within $100 how much money they've spent so far in November? Okay. Could you tell me within $1,000 how much you spent in November? You don't have to answer it. Some of you can. Some of you have done the work. And this is for our personal expenses, not business, just personal. Personal is the big black hole. It's where all of our money just disappears. Definitely disappears in your business too, just to be clear, but it 100% disappears in your personal life. Okay. Are we including household bills? Yes. Anything personal, anything you do not write off for business is personal. Can you tell me within $1,000 how much you've spent this month? Okay. That's 1 month. And we only have a couple more days. For those of you who have no clue, okay, there's only a couple more days. What about October? Last month? Could you tell me how much within $100 last month you spent? Does anybody raise their hand to that? Raise your electronic hand if you can. Okay. Last month, no bullshit. I'm going to call you out if you raise your hand. Just be clear. Could you tell me? Yeah. Yeah. It's not good if I don't. Could you say within $100 last month, do you know how much you spent? Okay. I got no hands. What about 1,000? Raise your hand. And I will not call on you because I expect there to be at least 4 of you now. Within $1,000 last month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going down to 5. Maybe change your mind. Okay, we got a no from Miss Colleen there. Okay, within $1,000 last month, October, personal expenses. Okay. Look at this for it. Keep your hands up. This is important. And I'm not, just to be clear, those of you who have your hands up are maybe not doing better than the people that don't. You might be doing so bad that you have to. Might be the walk of shame right there. Okay, Rob's coming in. He figured out how to raise his hand. That's cool. Or he's looked, he asked to text his wife, how much money did we spend last month? Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay. Now lower your hands again. Lower them all for me real quick. Thank you. Rob? Rob's new to the group, so welcome, Rob. He can throw the punch and take it. So just to be clear, that's how most of us operate. Okay, what about September? Raise your hand if you can tell me right now within $1,000 how much you personally spent in September. Okay, we're going back almost 3 months now. We're looking at the same-ish people here. Okay, we have less this time. It's going back further. Okay, can you see how important this work is? Okay, no, and hey, no offense to anybody who doesn't know. That's why I'm working on it. Thank you. You can lower your hands. That's why I want to work on it, is because we don't know. And if everybody's concentrated on making more money, but you don't know what you spend, I can promise you after 33 years of watching entrepreneurs, you're not going to have any money when the day is done. Right? And I know that's a true statement because you don't have any money right now. Like, shit, I don't have any money. It's because it all goes out. And if you do have some money, congratulations, but I bet you don't have what you thought you would have had right now. And it starts with the deep, dark, black hole of your personal finances. So the first thing work to do is to understand the last 3 months. For those of you who've done it, great. I'm going to give you the next step. For those of you who haven't, this might be the one thing that you get out of all of today, which is I got to start understanding what I spend my money on. Because if you don't, and you're just concentrated with making more money, it's not going to work. I can already tell you right now, your story's not going to work. 33 years of watching you guys work tells me it doesn't work. I've watched people make hundreds of thousands of dollars my whole life, and they're completely broke after 20 years. Sound familiar, right? No one teaches us this stuff. This is why it's important. So last 3 months, there's one action item for you right there. Last 3 months, November, and I love November's bills because they're crazy because of Christmas and Thanksgiving. I don't know about you guys. My wife sold to me. She goes, "Don't look at the credit card bill." I'm like, "Honey, what do you think?" It's got to get paid. What do you mean? Don't look at it. Like that's going to be like, what's the elf going to pay for it? And it's just magically going to disappear. Somebody's got to pay for this shit, honey. Where do you think it's going to get paid for? I know you went crazy. I saw all the boxes. You can't hide the boxes. I see them. It's okay. Let's just understand what it is. Because if I can anticipate that November's bad in my house. It's not a good month. Okay? There's no last minute shopping. It's been happening all year and it just ramps up in November. Okay? Some of you relate to this. Here's what I can tell you. If I know this happens year after year after year, I can then do what's called anticipate it. And when I can anticipate it, my wife doesn't have to tell me, don't look at the credit card bill. I already know it's going to be stupid. I already know that. I've been doing finances for 15 years now. I already know there's no limit on November's credit card bill. I already know that. She doesn't know it because she doesn't do the work. Okay. Next step. After you get those 3 months of personal expenses, not business, personal, the next thing I want you to do for you 7 crazy people, okay, there were 7 out of 40 of us. Quick math, that's 20%, about 18%. Okay, just to be clear, that's 18% of us know how much we spend. What I need you to do next is to separate everything you spent into A, B, and C. Okay, A's are fixed expenses. That's my electric bill, that's my mortgage payment, that's my car payment. Get them separated. And those of you who do this already, congrats. Let's take it to the next level or find the next thing. A's are fixed. B's are lifestyle expenses. Okay, an example of a lifestyle expense is I take my family to Disney every year. It's a lifestyle expense. I put it in there. Okay, now we don't stay at we don't stay on the monorail. Chevrons don't have enough money to stay on the monorail yet. When you goes to Disney, you know what I'm talking about. Chevrons stay at Port Orleans. Okay, it's in the middle. What C is all the extra stuff. What's extra? So I want you to separate, once you have those 3 months, into A, B, and C. And if you have a spouse or significant other, you're probably going to want to bring them in, because what they say is lifestyle, you say is extra. Look at that. I love it when you guys start to smile and grin. You're like, yep, that's exactly it. And if you're lucky enough to be like Dom, when you got your wife sitting right next to you, this conversation gets really real. Yep. So Dom brought Shelby in to say, hey, maybe Austin can tell you about this so I don't have to. You know, just joking, Dom. Okay. After you do that, so okay, honey. Yep. If you got questions, put them in the chat. I'll try to answer them as I keep moving here. Okay. Just to be clear, this is not black and white. I try to make it black and white, but it's not. And every one of you will have a different choice on what this is. So fixed to me is just necessary things to live my life: food, gas, house payment. Now, what you could do is to say, okay, well, Jack lives in a McMansion, so how much is that really fixed compared to a lifestyle choice? Jack drives a Ferrari, but he hasn't closed a house in 4 months. Is that really a fixed cost, or is that a lifestyle, or is that just extra now? I'm not here to separate that for you. That's the work you have to do. And everything you spend that could be fixed could be broken down. I could break it down into lifestyle and extra. Okay, don't go that far yet. You don't need to because you haven't done that much work. Don't make this more complicated than what it already is. Stay simple. So the first thing is 3 months worth of expenses, all personal expenses. The second thing is I want you to split those expenses into A, B's, and C's. Fixed, lifestyle, extras, and to identify where they go. If you get stuck, put it in the lower category if you're not sure. If you're not sure if your Starbucks is a lifestyle choice or if it's an extra, it goes into the extra. It's not a lifestyle choice then. Yep, thank you. Put it in the lower one if you're not sure. My mortgage payment is a fixed expense. It's there. Okay. For those of you who can do that work and get that work done, the last part I want you to do in this first exercise, we're only on number 1 right now. The next part that I want you to do is I want you to eliminate in the next 30 days 25% of your extras. I want you to live with less. Here's why. You don't deserve it. You just don't deserve it. Yet. You don't deserve it yet. And the reason why is because most of you have goals you have not achieved. You catch me? And this is where I'm getting into delayed gratification. Like, my vision of my life is more important than what I get today. I have millions of dollars and I live like I'm poor because I am not there yet. And I will sacrifice today, not all of it. I'm still having a home. I still live in a home. I still drive a car that's new. We still go to Disney. But you don't see my butt swiping the Starbucks. Okay? And I'm just using Starbucks for an example. And if you do and you like it, nothing against it. I just ask that 1 out of 4 days you don't go. I'm not asking much, just 1 out of 4 days. I want you to eliminate 25% of that extra category. 25%. Because when I talk to a lot of you guys, you tell me you don't have any money to invest, and I ask you how much you're making. I'm like, shit, you got plenty of money. You're like, I'm broke. Here's why. You're broke because of all the extra stuff. And hey, it's okay. No judgment by me by any means or anybody else. But we don't have the money to invest in our future. It's not because we're not working hard. It's because we're spending all of our money on things that aren't serving us. And what I really would love for you guys to do is to just pivot that 25%, which could be $500 or $1,000 a month, and pivot it to invest into your future, to get you somewhere different than you are today. Alex? You got a question, Alex? Or are you just saying, heck yes? He's just giving me a high five. Yeah, baby. High five. Okay. And if you don't hate me now, you might hate me after this. After you do 25%, then I want you to do 50% of that first initial budget of the extras. I want you to cut it in half. I want you to live on less. I want you to realize that you don't deserve to have all that extra things, that your future life deserves that money more than your present. You guys following me here? I would say most of us aren't where we thought we would be today financially. Right? I'm not where I thought I'd be. Thought I'd be a billionaire by now. Okay. I saw that, Tracy. I'll get there 1 second. I would say most of us aren't financially where we thought we would be by the age of which you are today. And for those young ones, Preston, use you for an example. Okay, you're doing good, but look at all of us. Okay, we all wish we'd have done a little bit better from the time we were 20 to the time I'm 40. I wish I'd have lived on a little bit less. I still wanted to go on vacation. I just didn't need to stay at the nicest place. I could have stayed at the place below it. The beach is still the same. You know what I mean? So what? There's a couple of cracked tiles. The service sucked a little bit. That's okay. I still got on vacation. I was still with my family. I still was on the beach. The water's still the same. It still tastes like salt, right? Yeah. Mike, what are you thinking?
Just gonna play dumb here. Other people might be asking, so cut 25 and then another 25, or cut 25 and then split the difference in half?
Good question. So twofold answer here, one for Tracy and one for you. Let's say your initial C expenses, those extras, equal 4,000 a month. So a lot of you guys might think 4,000 a month. Yeah, wait till you do it. Okay. What I want you to do the first round is I want you to cut 25% of those within 30 days. And it's going to hurt. Just to be clear, it's going to hurt. It'll be worth it in the long run, but it's going to hurt initially. And then I want you to cut another 25%. Thank you for clarifying. Within another 30 days. It's a 60-day plan. Okay. And a lot of times those extras, just to let everybody know, they're not needed. They're just extra. So that's the first phase. 3 months, identify A, B, and C, cut C 25%, and then cut it another 25% after the 30 days to equal 50%. My first recommendation to do with that extra money is to invest into your future somehow. Remember, you didn't have it last month. I just want you to be better tomorrow than you are today. That's why we're here training. That's why we do this. It's an investment into your future self. Abner's?
I just realized the third reason you post these in the group, and that's so that we can let you tell our spouse this instead of us.
I'm good with being the bad guy. I'm in my house. So I just taken that role. I'm the greatest, worst guy ever. So yeah, I'm okay with being that person. Just know as we do the work, everybody in here, just know it's for a greater future. Are you willing to sacrifice today for something greater tomorrow? And there still needs to be a balance. I don't want you to live in a cardboard box and invest 80% of all the money you make, because then you're not happy today. You still need to be happy today. I want you guys to find that balance. The problem is our balance is off, because our balance is more spending than investing into our future. And when you do this work and you invest in your future, then you can do the cool things you want to do in life, help the people you want to help, see the things you want to see, give to the people you want to give to. But it requires you today to pay more attention to your financials, which is what most of us neglect. And the reason we neglect them is because either they're not a problem today that we see, or they are a huge problem that we don't want to look at. Right? Big people don't want to step on a scale. When I go through Thanksgiving, I don't want to step on a scale on Thursday or Friday, Saturday, because I just ate the shit out of some stuffing, stuff that I never get to eat. I just ate it all. I ate everything that night. I don't want to step on a scale. I don't want to see what reality is. And that's what a lot of our financials are. We just don't want to see what reality is. But when you say, I don't have $297 a month to train, I don't have $1,000 to go hire a coach, I don't have $700 to go buy this program. No, you do. You're just spending the money in the wrong place compared to investing it. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to take your spending and turn it into investing. Habit number 1. This is still the habits module, by the way. Habit number 1, turn your spending into investing. I own 50 rental properties. It's because I lived on less. Nothing else. I just lived on less. If you guys were to come to, if my wife would let you come to my house, she'd be so embarrassed what you guys would see. She would. She's an aesthetic. You remember the Disc and Motives report? She's an aesthetic. She likes the way things look. I'm practical. I'm high utilitarian. I could care less how they look. I just need this thing to be optimized. Our carpet is so bad you could trip over it. It has so many humps. Yeah, and that's why she won't let you in my house. You laugh. I tell her, I go, that's a rental house, honey. It's carpet. Yeah, the dog did nasty things on the carpet. Just clean it. It's fine. No one's going to know. But that extra rental house, oh my God, it's like she knows that I'm talking about her right now. If you guys are texting her, stop that shit. That's crazy. But I'd rather have a rental house than new carpet. Why? Because the rental house pays me every month. It appreciates and I can write it off. Which means in my life, 2, 5, 8 years later, I will be far greater ahead of where I would be if I got new carpet. Right? Is this resonating with you guys? Is this okay? We're only on step 1 right now. It might be a 6-part series. So let's go to 2. After you do that, I want you to create step 2 now. Actually, time out. 20 minutes. Okay. 20 seconds. Get up. Let's go. Get up. Okay. Gets the heart going a little bit. Okay. Not so bad anymore. Okay. Step 2. Yeah. Step 2 is we need to create a spending plan. Okay. So okay, Miss Tracy, you've asked me repeat twice. Sorry, Tracy. Let's open up your mic here. I don't want to miss you. I will stop for you guys. We do this for you, not for us. That's why we have the live. We do this for you. So if you have a question like, hey, ask, let's be here. I just have to be aware of how many things we have coming in to make sure we're impacting you guys, because you guys all wrote down a number and I want to help you find that number. So repeat twice. Tracy, can you open up your mic and tell me what I missed? I apologize.
Yeah, so when you give us the habit, you say it and then you go in and I'm writing it down. So could you say the habit twice just so I can get it?
Yes. So the habit is to go, make sure I say this right. The habit is to change our spending to investing. Okay. I want to change what you spend, not all of it. I'm just talking a fraction of a fraction. I want to change the fraction of a fraction of what you're spending. That extra stuff that you're buying is all spending. That's all spending, no investing. Okay. And it probably is actually hurting your health and hurting your lifestyle, hurting your family, hurting your kids. It's actually probably hurting a lot of things too, to be real. I want to change the spending to investing. If we can change some of what we spend and then we can start to invest it, your trajectory of your life completely starts to change. Okay. Is that step 1? Nope. Step 1's a full one, which is prioritize personal expenses. I'll throw this in the community too for you guys. I'll throw my notes in there for you. Okay. If I gave you my notes today, you read them and you don't listen as much. And I need you to listen. I need it to hit you. That's why I don't give you all this stuff. It's because I need it to hit you. I need you to write down what you're looking for, not what I'm telling you. Yep. Create a list of 3 months worth of personal expenses: November, October, September. Categorize them: A, B, and C's, fixed, lifestyle, and extras. Start by reducing C expenses by 25%. Okay. I think you can do it in 30 days. A lot of those things you can just shut off right away. Okay. If not, it might take you 60 days. The next, then reduce C expenses by a total of 50%. Thank you, Mike. Another 25% of that initial, let's call it 4,000. So 1,000 the first round, 1,000 in the second. I now have $2,000 to pay down that credit card debt at 28%. Okay. To put in your training here so you can keep growing and getting to where you're trying to get to, or to invest financially into your future. If you do that for 12 months, that's $24,000. If you put 20% down, that's a $100,000 home that you can buy this year from not buying the stuff that you don't need to buy. You do that for 5 years, I got 5 rental houses for you. Bingo, that's money. Next step, create a spending plan. Okay, this is an easy one, but it requires you to think. So if you could spend your money where you wanted to, where would that be? These are thinking questions. Create a spending plan. If I had a clean slate, not all the baggage that you carry with you today, but if I had a clean slate, where would I want to spend my money personally? Okay. And it requires you to think a little bit, think about your future. And you say, well, I can't do that because I've already made these bad decisions and spend the money here now. I have to pay my credit card bill because I decided to go do this, this, and this. And now I got the credit card bill plus 29% interest. Wipe that, all that clean. And give yourself the freedom to say, if I could spend my money on whatever I wanted, what would that be? How would my life look? Okay. Another question to ask yourself in this category is, how's your money working for you? How's it working for you? I know when I pay the electric bill that I get lights. I like that. My family likes it. I like it. I like to have water. I like to have the house. I know these seem like very basic things, but then start working your way all the way down your list. And you're going to say, well, this doesn't really work for me. Maybe even being here. Some of you guys I convinced not to be in here. You're not showing up. You're not doing the work. Maybe there's a better investment for you. But I can promise you, if you come in and do the work, this pays you dividends of 5, 10, 100-fold. Promise you. Promise you. Okay, that's the second step. Create a spending plan. That's your vision of what you want your personal finances to do. That's the vision. So one is, here's a reality. And then step two is, here's my vision. I would love to have this be where I put my money. I would love to take my family over to Europe. I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to do that. That's in my vision. It's a personal expense. I'd love to do that. Well, how the heck am I going to? It's 40 grand. Where am I getting the money to do that? I can tell you, ain't putting carpet in the house for 20 G's. No way. That's not in my vision. I could care less what kind of carpet I have. I care about experiences. Okay, step 3. I want you now to know your 12-month average for personal spending. 12-month average. Does anybody raise your hand if you know your 12-month average? I'd be shocked if there's more than 1 or 2 people that actually know this. Okay, we had 5 last time. Rob's got it. Okay, Jack, Maria. So we got 3. Anybody else know their 12-month average? I'm not going to ask you what it is. It's personal stuff. Okay, 5, 6. Good stuff. Good stuff. So we got a sixth of us in here. And we got maybe some of the people in the Abner's group there might know it too. I'm not sure. Okay. So we got 6 of us. Thank you for raising your hands. That's the next step, is to know your 12-month average. Because what happens when you know your 12-month average, you know what to anticipate. Okay. I've spent the same amount of money personally for the last 7 years because I know what we spend it on, my family. I know what it is. It's already bucketed. I got it. And I pay myself the same amount of money every month, no matter what I make, because that's what my family lives on. It doesn't live on the extras that I make. No, it doesn't live on the extras. Family never sees the extras. Future sees the extras. The future sees it, but not the family. Family established a number in which we live off of, which is my fixed expenses plus my lifestyle. Disney's in ours and our lifestyle choices. We go to Disney at least once a year. We take 3 vacations as a family. If you would have gone through the calendar training, you would see what's in there. There's some hints. But we live on the same number. My number only changed once in the last 7 years, and that's because inflation kicked my butt. And I had to raise it by about 10%, my number. My bank accounts went negative 3 months in a row, and I thought, this ain't cool. This hasn't happened in 7 years. I didn't count for inflation. It actually happened. Other than that, know your 12-month average. It helps you understand. Okay, if November was 12,000, but September was 6, that averages to 9. And now you can start to see how these things move. How does your year move? Where is this going? This would tie into having multiple bank accounts. Yes, Jamal, this is exactly where we're going. We're not quite there yet. We're 3 away from that. I'm going to get there before we're done today. Good job, bud. He's learning. Okay, the next piece, number 4, and I put them in this order. This is the order I'd like for you to work on. Yes, we're about making more money here, but we're also about keeping the money, investing the money so we all can become better and get to where we're trying to get to. Next one is create a will. Okay. Raise your hands if you have a will. Okay, let's do electronic. Let's see. Raise your hand electronically if you have a will. I'm not getting into personal stuff here, but if you got a will, raise your hand. I'm guessing this should be about half the group. Okay, keep going. There's some of you that come in late. Here, raise your hand if you got a will. Okay. Tyler, you just had a baby? Get your will, man. Do it good. That's why you're here, right there. This might be the only thing you get out of today. Get your will in place. You did good with your financials. Now be responsible father and husband and get your will in place. So that way, if something happens to you, you don't leave them a mess. You know? Yep. Because let me tell you, the last time you guys can put your hands down, that was about 20%, 30% of the group. Last thing your family wants is a mess when you leave this earth. Okay, you want to talk? Some of you guys know I lost my mother when I was 16. It was a disaster financially. Okay, we were so broke, we owed money on the money we didn't have. Okay, there wasn't enough money to bury my mother. Okay, we had to work through all of that. Fix your stuff now, get it in place, so that way when you leave, you're not causing problems for everybody else. Be a responsible adult. Who was at our teams training here? What did I say in the teams training? Who was there? Give me, Michael, tell me what we talked about. We might need a second one here if Michael gets it wrong.
Talk about what? I want to make sure.
Yeah. What does it mean to be a responsible adult? I kept saying 2 things over and over and over at our conference. What was that?
You have a license, and that's what's going in my head. You have a license, and you're an adult, so act like it.
So act like it. Do you hear that? You have a license and you're an adult, so act like it. Yeah. You guys heard that. You remember that. You're an adult who has other responsibilities. There's only very few people in my life that I know that don't need a will because they don't have any kids, they don't have any family, and they're like, screw it. Let it all go to who cares. Okay. Everybody else, you need a will. If you have a will, like me, I need to update my will. That's the next step. If you have one, maybe you should update it. My last time I wrote my will, I think I had 4 rental properties. I didn't have all the stuff I have today. I didn't have the companies. So we need to update the will now. There's always work. Remember, there's always work to do. If you think you're doing good, find the nugget and let's do the next step of the work here. So step 4, create a will. If you have a will, update your will. Okay, step 5, financials. I want you to create a net worth sheet. Net worth sheet. It can be on like Microsoft Excel. It could be anywhere in the world. I don't care what you write on. You can write it on a piece of paper. For most of you, it will be rather short. And your net worth sheet will have all of your assets and all of your liabilities. What are you smiling about, Tyler? You smiling at your kid or something I said? Hang on, I got to ask.
Smiling at my son.
Okay, that's good stuff. It's his first time in here. I'm wondering how he's taking all this.
Hey, blessed to be here.
Excellent. Excellent. Glad to have you. Okay. Net worth sheet. Here's what I want this to look like. I want you to know your number. This is what I've always told myself. If I said, screw it all, I'm out of here, I want to know how much I'm taking to my island that I'm going to. I envision just going to an island, having like a little, I don't know if I'd be the surf shop guy or what, but I'd be in my bathing suit. There'd be an ocean, a beach, probably a bar. I guess my wife and kids would be there too. Yeah. But how much money am I taking to my island? I want to know that number. What's my number? You had to say, screw it, I'm selling everything. What am I taking to my island? It's your net worth. And I want you to understand and list out all of your assets, which are your bank accounts. It could be your cars. I'm not getting down to the granular, like, what's my couch worth? I'm leaving that for Nate. He's got 5 kids. He can destroy it for all I care. I'd probably still sell it to him. Maybe I'd give, but I'm not going to put that on my net worth sheet. Okay. I want to know if you sold everything and you paid off all your debt, how much money you either have or don't have. Some of you will be negative. You owe more than you're worth. Yeah, I experienced that when I was 16. It's not pretty. It gives you a starting point. When I started tracking my net worth sheet years ago, I had 1 comma. Now I have 2. It's kind of cool to have 2 commas. But if I'm not tracking it and I'm not measuring it, it's hard to improve it. So just list it all in one place. Worst case, if something happened to you, somebody could find where all of your stuff is. Right? If I'm selling everything, then there are no liabilities. No, you could sell your car and still owe the bank money, right? Isn't that how that works? Yeah, you could sell your car. So my first house that I bought a brand new washer and dryer. And then a month later, I decided to sell the house. I sold the house with the washer and dryer. And then we got the bill the month later. My wife's like, hey, we got a bill for the washer and dryer. You need to give that to the new owner. I go, no, that's not how that works. And she goes, what do you mean? I go, well, we agreed to pay for that. Well, why wouldn't we have them pay for it? Well, it's not how that negotiation worked, honey. And she goes, well, you're a shitty real estate agent. I'm like, okay, it's kind of unfair, but okay, I get it. So, which meant I did not have the asset anymore, but I still had the liability. Yep, that's how it works sometimes. Okay, I think we got time for one more here. This is good. This is where I was hoping to end. The last one is I want you to open up your bank accounts per module 5 of our Agent Success program. Okay, 2 more. It's a respect thing, Tracy. I go till the hour. If everybody would get here on time, I could start on time. I'm not calling anybody out. So open up the bank accounts per module 5. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, I don't know if it would be good for me just to show you the picture because there's a whole lot behind it. So essentially, module 5 of our Agent Success program teaches everybody the financial systems that I use to handle my money. And it shows where when the money comes into the bank account, when I earn money and it comes in, how it all gets spread out. How it goes to my deposit account, my investment account, my tax account, my personal account, and my business account. And the last 2, which I don't train on here, but what I will say to this group, my giving account and my dream account. And all of these get funded when the money comes into my business. I want you to open those up. If I just gave you a couple, okay, I'd really suggest to go through the training. Go to chevroncoaching.com. You can buy the Agent Success program. We launched it October 1st. We have not even really advertised it at all. Shows you how good we do sometimes. We're working on it. But the program's there. A lot of you guys have sat through this for years where we would work through that. But it's a system and a process that handles your money for you. It's pre-made decisions prior to the money coming in. Preston, we were talking on the treadmill. I'm going to say this, I'm not going to talk personally, but I'm going to talk to you here right now. If you can't handle a dollar, you can't handle 1,000, you can't handle 100,000, you can't handle 1,000,000, period. My life is set up when money flows into my accounts, into my life, it's already processed how it's going to work. Okay, it's already processed. I already know where the money goes, and it doesn't matter what comes in. It's already handled. I've made the decision before the money came in. Flows into my deposit account. Why does it go into the deposit account? Because if it goes into your operating account, which is where all of your money goes, most of you right now, I'd say 80%, when you get paid, it goes into your operating account. And when the money's in your operating account, your business operating account, you spend it like you're rich when you make it. And when you're poor, you still spend it like you're average. You don't buy all those extra things, but you still buy some of those things because you feel like you deserve it. And you remembered the last month in which you did really good. Okay. Module 5 of our Agent Success Program teaches you exactly my financial wheel of how I went from welfare to millionaire using this system, this wheel. Okay. I'll give you the highlights. You got to go through the program to really understand it completely. The highlight of it here in 1 minute is your money flows into a deposit account, not your operations account. It goes into a deposit account, which is a holding account for your money. From there, it gets split initially into two places. One goes into your tax account, and the other goes into your investment account. We take money right out of the top. Half of the people on this call are behind on their taxes. Yep. You agree, Maria, or not? Nope, I do. Because if it's not you, look to your right or left. I talk to these people all the time. No offense, they're trying to do well. They're just that the money doesn't come out of their check. And when the money's due, they don't have it because we spend it all. It's okay. They're working their butt off to pay it. But half of us are behind on our taxes. It's just reality. So we got to pay those taxes. It's hard to be great when you have the weight of your taxes on you. After the taxes, we want to invest into our future. Before you spend any of your money, you invest into your future. I promise you, you will not regret that. That's what I did. I'm doing pretty well. I made it through my 20s and 30s. Wasn't always pretty. You want to invest before you spend. If you invest before you spend, this is the gold here. If you invest before you spend, you have the right to spend whatever's left. If you invest before you spend, you have the right to spend whatever's left. And so now look at money as abundant. I have all this money I can spend. Not the other way around. Not I spend it all, now I don't have any money to invest. So I spend what's left over. You do it right, the pile's pretty big, what's left over. But I spend what's left over. And because of that, I live an abundant financial life. I spend what's left over. I invest first. It doesn't matter how much money you're making right now. For those of you who are like, well, Austin, I don't have enough money to invest first. Yeah, it's because you're spending stuff on shit you don't need. That's not serving you. If you invest before you spend, now you're free to spend it all. And the last one I'm going to put in here is give some money away before you spend it. Start a giving account. Open up an account, put 1% of everything you make into a giving account and go give it to everybody that needs the money. I don't care who. Let's go give it away. Take your 1% to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 10. Probably the greatest joy in life you'll ever have is to give it away. We'll give some money away. Give it to people that need it. Somebody in here might need a little help right now. And because you were diligent with your money, I can tell you there'll be more coming to you in the future. It's how the world works. Be good with your money, more money will come. It was amazing when I was broke, no money was coming in. And then once I created this wheel, it's amazing the money just started coming in. Started coming in. I was doing the right things with it. It was coming in. I was delaying gratification. It was coming in. I kept delaying and delaying and delaying. And my wife's like, hey, when are we going to do this? I said, hey, honey, it's next year. It's next year. It's next year. She goes, well, it is next year. I go, no, it's next year. You must not have heard it. It was next year. She goes, well, it is next year. I go, no, we got one more year and then we'll be there. She goes, where's there? I go, well, it's not here. We're not there. One more year. Give me one more year and we'll have a little bit more. Live on less today. Have a bigger vision for your life tomorrow and go help somebody out along the way. Don't give all your money away. You're going to need some. Don't give it all away. Give a percentage, 50%, 20%, 10%. I didn't say $500 a month. I said a percent of what you make. That way, if you make $100,000 in a month, you give 10,000 of it away. Everyone thinks you're crazy. You're like, nope, I'm abundant. Money's easy. It flows to me. Next thing you know, here comes a mill. You go give 100,000 out of a mill away. I'm telling you, this is how it works. Here's the secrets. And so I wanted to work with you guys today on the financials. This will be part one of maybe a 3 to 4 part series here. Okay. What I want you to do is go into the community for me, please, and put your biggest takeaway from today. Go in there. Give me just one nugget that you got. Okay. Give me one nugget in the community. And maybe I can expand on that nugget next time. So I apologize. I'm 3 minutes over today. Thank you. Thank you for your time. We will see you next week. Yeah. 2 Eastern next week. We will see you. We always come in about 15 minutes early. If you guys want to come in and hang out, feel free. We're in here. So appreciate all you guys. See you next week. Thank you.